Hey, it's Brandon Stiles, and today we're talking about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So Maslow's hierarchy of needs was introduced by Abraham Maslow in 1943. And basically it stacks up the needs that humans have on each individual level, all the way from physiological, which is just basic needs like food and water and oxygen, all the way to what's called the transcendental top, which is kind of a person's sense of being and a little bit of those existential thoughts. Anyhow, enough of the big words. What this basically means is that these are the most basic needs that all humans have, from the smallest, most basic to the very top high level hierarchy of needs. Now, where does this come in for you? Well, by utilizing this list, you can tap into the needs and desires of humans in order to sell your product or services to them. So let's dive into how to do that right now. All right, here is every human's hierarchy of needs, from the most basic, which is physiological, up to safety, up to love and belonging, up to esteem, self-esteem, and then finally the top is transcendence. That's when you've got all these taken care of. So you've got, your basics, you're safe, you've got food and water, maybe you're married, and then, you kind of lost some weight, you're feeling good about yourself, and then you can kind of get into that high level thing, which is like, well, what am I? Why are we here? To be or not to be, that kind of thing. So how do we get here, and then how do we use our knowledge and expertise to market to people at each level of this hierarchy of needs? Well, let's jump into it. Okay, this lowest stage is physiological. That's going to be your stuff like food, it's going to be water, it's going to be air, it's going to be sleep, shelter, clothing, things like that. Businesses set up for this don't necessarily need to convince anybody, all right? You don't see Kroger out advertising, you must have food. So if you have to have food, get it from us. People know that they need food. They don't have to be convinced of that. So the ads for companies dealing with physiological needs are going to look a lot different than those that are dealing with esteem or transcendence. You don't sell an exercise program necessarily like you would sell a health drink or something of that nature. So these are your physiological needs. Now, as I go up this pyramid, now usually Maslow's hierarchy of needs is shown in a pyramid like this. You're going to see that different types of ads apply to different needs as they go up, from the most basic, primitive, animalistic need to more like these are kind of just for humans only, like these right here. Because even animals like dogs, cats, they need love, belonging, safety, and food and water, but I don't see a lot of dogs wanting to transcend and get into their headspace or whatever. Anyhow, let's go into safety. So safety is going to be things like established finances, so let's say like stable money or financial security. It's also going to be personal security. And then it's going to be health. So you've got to be healthy. So obviously you don't have to be financially stable to be alive. So this is not going to hit physiological, but you do need it to feel a lot better about these other things up here. So you're not probably going to be worried about building your self-esteem if you don't have any money, okay? So businesses that are advertising to this portion, how might that be different than if you were advertising for better sleep? Well, people have to have these to survive. If you don't have these, you will die. Shelter could be one of the things where it's like, well, there are homeless people, but you need some sort. You can't just be out naked in the cold of New York, right? You have to have some sort of shelter. So how would you advertise differently if your business or service was built on safety versus physiological versus love and belonging? So again, while we're going up this ladder, we're just asking ourselves this question. So you first ask yourself, what business am I in? Where does my business fall along this pyramid, this hierarchy of needs? And how should I cater my ads to people at that spot? Okay, let's move to the next one. Love, belonging. So this will be relationships. This will be intimacy. This will be friends, family, that kind of thing. So if you are Match.com, you're going to fall along here. Now you're not always going to fall just into one of the hierarchy of needs. So if you're in Match.com, it might be safety, it might be physiological. So you can kind of, touch on those other needs, but you're going to have one primary one. And people advertising, like a relationship coach, like I think of the movie Hitch, he's going to, if he were to advertise, I know he keeps it under wraps, but if he were to advertise, he would want to do it so you wouldn't advertise it as a primitive need, okay? So just keep thinking, how do you incorporate where you are on this pyramid into your advertising? Next is esteem. Esteem is, there's going to be things like, this is kind of where your ego comes in, kind of more of the Freudian problems. This is going to be respect, self-respect, self-esteem, all these kinds of things. And this is where this comes in after a person has fulfilled all of these. So the idea is not to skip a ladder. It's be like, all right, he's got food, now let's make sure that he's got self-respect. All right, because these need to be filled in order for a person to live a better and better life. Obviously, the goal is to get to transcendent for most people. They want to have all these needs met so they can just sit around and just be in that Zen state and kind of just, think about the deeper meanings of life, which is not a problem. But your business might not be there. So again, thinking of where is my business on this ladder and how can I advertise to people that are there. So there you go. Those are the hierarchy of needs as proposed by Abraham Maslow. Now, how can you use these in your business? Well, we've kind of talked about it a lot, but think about your audience. So if you are providing a product or a service that touches in or let's just say love and belonging. Let's just say you're a relationship coach. You can use this hierarchy of needs to kind of narrow down your audience. So people that would be looking for this product already have their physiological needs met. So they have shelter, and so they're probably not looking for a house. So maybe if you're using Facebook ads, you could say people that own homes or kind of have a stable home life. They're safe. So usually these kind of people have money to burn on these kinds of products, because if they didn't have money for food and basic needs, then they're probably not looking to drop a lot of cash on a dating coach. So you could maybe go higher net worth individuals, like people that have some kind of disposable cash to get this. You could eliminate self-esteem, because if people are looking to get into a relationship, it means that maybe they're probably not as confident as they could be. So you could think about magazines, publications, blogs that have to do with self-esteem, and you could target people that read those blogs or subscribe to those publications. So that's how you can use the hierarchy of needs to kind of narrow down your audience and get the most effective ad. But more than anything, serve the right audience. So use this to find the right people to serve, because no matter what, you don't want to be manipulative. You actually want to put out stuff that will help people. So really your job with your business is to find those people that need help, and then you just provide them with the product. So I'm Brandon Stiles. I'm a digital marketer out of Atlanta. That is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Hope that helped. Now go now and see if your ads are in the right spot for your business based on this video. We'll talk to you next time.